Today we're going to open up a new topic, and the topic is probably everybody's favorite. What is etymology? What if I told you etymology is the study of etymon? But that wouldn't be much help, right? Okay, if I ask you what is the etymology of this word, basically what I'm asking is, what is the history of this word? That's the basic understanding everybody has of the word etymology. Which is indeed accurate, because etymology is the history of words, but it is also the study of the history of words. So etymology, in a way, has two meanings. One is the discipline or study of the history of words. The other one is a history of words. So like a lot of other words, like psychology is the study of psyche, or it could be a psychological description of somebody. So etymology is like that, is the study of etymon of a word. So if you look at the word etymology, it consists of two parts that come from etymon or etymon, which means original meaning, and logos or logia, a study of. It has Greek roots. Typically, a lot of people are interested in knowing where a word comes from. What is the origin of a word? That's the curiosity a lot of us instinctively have about different words. And to satisfy that curiosity, you need to learn etymology. Okay, the word compact, for example. You might get curious and say, where does this word come from? What is the origin of the word compact? If you look up the word in a dictionary, let's say the online version of the Webster's Dictionary, if you scroll down, you get to the section that says etymology. Here it says it comes from Middle English. It means firmly put together. It comes from Latin, compactus, which is a past participle of compingere, and then this consists of com and pangere, is fastened together. And then there is another meaning to compact, which has a slightly different etymology. Let's just focus on the first part. Of course, we know that compangere are not words in English. These are words in Latin. So it speaks to this history or origin of the word compact, but it doesn't speak to how many morphemes the word compact consists of. In order to find out about that, we have a series of videos on morphology. Specifically, we have 4 videos which are entitled Let's Count As Some Morphemes. You will learn about identifying the morphemes, the parts of the word that are still actively meaningful in a language, in this case in English. Here in this video, we're not focused on how many morphemes a word consists of. We are mainly focused on the origin of a word. In this case, the word compact. This section of the dictionary satisfies your etymological curiosity and tells you where the word compact comes from. This is a basic understanding of the word etymology. So the etymology of the word compact is this. Let's say the word word, we are curious where it comes from. Sometimes you can look at etymology in a more elaborate way. We want to know what is the oldest piece of knowledge we have of the word word. How did the word come to be, and how did it evolve, both in terms of form and in terms of meaning? Keep in mind, etymology is not just a study of the forms that constitute a word. It's not just the study of form, it's also the study of meaning or semantics. So it's a parallel study of morphology and semantics of a word. With that level of curiosity, if you look at the word word, you can find out about its evolution both morphologically and semantically. The word word comes from Proto-Indo-European of the root vert. Obviously, I don't know how to exactly pronounce these words, but I take it as at face value. So this would be, I assume, word. The oldest piece of knowledge we have of the word word is from around 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, 4,500. It comes from the word root werd, which means speak. It evolves in different Germanic or Indo-European languages. For example, in Proto-Germanic, Wurdan, again, it means word or speak. In Old English, 5th to 12th century, the word word in its current form, regardless of its pronunciation. Again, there's examples like Beowulf, and so on and so forth until we get to modern English. And then here we have a study of the cognates. It means when this word originated, it went into similar languages that are related in English, and it evolved differently in each of those languages. This is a very technical and elaborate or study of the word word, which maps the entire history of the evolution of the word word from its first known instance and its evolution in these different languages in parallel to each other. This is a very technical approach to the study of word, and that's not most people typically are interested in when they ask you a simple question: what is the etymology of the word word? Probably a simple definition, like from Webster's dictionary. Again, the word word comes from Middle English, from Old English, Old High German, and in Latin there's verbum, which are related, and Greek and Hittite. When we look at the word etymology, we usually ask questions like, where did this word come from? How was it used in the past? Did its meaning change over time? Etymologists, who are people who specialize in etymology, use linguistic and historical records and tools to answer these questions. Another example is the word night. Where did it come from? It came from Proto-Indo-European noct. In Latin, it evolved into nox, and in Old English, there's these forms which are here. Etymology helps us understand not only the structure of words and language, but also it gives us cultural information and the cultural context in which words were formed or reshaped, both semantically. I mean, mostly semantically when you speak about cultures, but also morphologically. For example, when you see that a lot of words in English come from Latin or Greek, you will know that for whatever reason, the Latin and Greek languages had a lot of influence on the English language. That tells you something about the history of English speakers and their society and their relationship with Latin and Greek speakers. Therefore, etymology is a small window that once you open it, you can see a big sky in which there's a lot of things to work with. Sometimes words travel through multiple languages before they reach us. For example, the word sugar. The word sugar came from Arabic, sukkar, which was itself borrowed from the Persian word shakar, which came from Sanskrit sharkara, or maybe developed in parallel to Sanskrit in Iranian languages. Therefore, when you want to know about the origin of the English word sugar, at some point you will be traveling out of the English language into other languages, because the history of the word sugar evolved not just through one language, but through multiple languages. If you're interested in etymology, if you always keep asking yourself, what is the etymology of this word? A lot of dictionaries, online or paper, they usually have a section about the etymology of a word. But there's also a website which is dedicated to the etymology of words in English. It is etymonline.com. It is a very reliable source, especially for casual purposes. Obviously, if you want to study more seriously, you need to look at academic resources. But it's a very good place to start with, especially indeed if you're interested in English, because this is only about English words. For example, I looked up the word system in Etym and this is what I got. It comes from Latin systema, which means an arrangement system. You will understand something about the historical morphology of the word and a lot of interesting information about the word system. And then there's a section where it gives you related entries or more. There's a lot of cool stuff on this website. Let's say You look up a lot of words and their etymologies, and go to this website, and you really, as a student of linguistics, become interested in etymology, and you want to become an etymologist. Can you specialize in etymology? Is there a discipline called etymology? If you want to become an etymologist, there's no specific discipline called etymology. What you need to do is to study historical linguistics or diachronic linguistics. And within historical linguistics, you can focus on etymology and become an etymologist. In other words, etymology is a subfield of historical linguistics. So next time when you use a word, think about where it came from, the journey it took, and how it evolved, and how many languages did it go through, and how related are all these languages. And if it was borrowed from a different language, you might even get out of linguistics and ask socio-historical, political, and cultural questions like, why would English borrow this word from this language?